everyone, it's Rebecca from the Glitch Stitchery, and today I'm doing a extra special, extra video for the week that I wasn't originally planning on. Right now it is 95 degrees outside with the possibility of even getting a little bit hotter. So I am going to be ice dyeing this 8 ounces of Targhee bamboo silk using the Paradise Fibers dyes from the June fiber package. So for the most part, this is going to be outside and you won't see it much, but when it's done, you'll see the results. So let's get started. There's already water and vinegar in the pan with the wool. I'm going to just add the ice and then we will dump the powders on top. So one moment. This is 2 pounds of ice. Which, in retrospect, might actually not be enough ice, but we will work with that. And make it as even as possible. Alright, I'm going to dry my hands off before I put the powders on so they don't get all over my hands. Let's see, I want to do the magenta first. Alright, there's all of that. Let's do the blue next, or turquoise, I forget. It's a shade of blue. Anyways, I'm going to start from this side. And finally, the yellow. I don't know if there's as much yellow in that as there was the other colors. No. I guess that part will be a little bit more white. So, I am going to put this out on my deck. Well, it's not a deck, it's a fire escape. It'll be out on the fire escape. I'll check back in on it in a few the next day and I can talk about how the ice dyeing went. So these two here were the original 8 ounces of the ice dyeing. You can see they have sort of a watercolor type effect to them and they're very vibrant in some spots while less vibrant in others. That's because of how the ice melted and how the dye struck at different times. Obviously I did have to heat set everything, but the dye had mostly hit where it was going to go by that point. Now as I was heat setting, I realized there was a ton of extra dye left in the pan that was not going to strike. So first I added in this one. And I added it in such a way so it ended up being basically a gradient from the pink to the blue. That one's really pretty. After that I took all of those 3 out of the pan and I used my last pound of Targhee to sop everything up. And that's where it got more interesting. Now these are the Paradise Fibers acid dyes and they are new. I've never tried them before. However, they do behave pretty much like every other acid dye I've worked with, and that is that the red type colors strike first and fastest, while the blues and yellows and greens strike later. So when I put those 4 braids of 4 ounces each in, and they started soaking everything up, the red, or I think it was fuchsia, struck immediately. And then when I flipped them over, all that was left in the pan was blue, so the rest of them is that lightish blue color with some green tint to it from the leftover yellow. So most likely what I'm going to do is spin those add 4 braids, so 1 pound of fiber up, and then over dye them with another shade of blue just for some extra depth. But it is interesting how the dyes set, and it's something to keep in mind if you're going to try to mix the dyes, that most likely the red tones, or at least the fuchsia specifically, will strike first. So yeah, that's what I got for the fiber. That's all set. I'm gonna get this video finished up, and thanks for watching.